And the first film that we're talking about is Stegosaurus, directed by Barry Wilkinson. Barry, welcome to GeekFest Toronto.
Thanks for having me.
I love the film, and I have to ask you, where did the story come from?
I'm a parent, so it's my daughter in the film. It's a very common scenario that we'll go somewhere or we'll do something and I'll be on my phone and she tells me off for being on my phone so much and not enjoying it. And the story kind of came from there a little bit. And I just really like Jurassic Park, so it kind of fell together like that.
Did it start as a story about phones or did it start as a story about dinosaurs?
Generally about nature and phones, I think. And I was watching Jurassic Park shortly afterwards. It was the first time my daughter actually watched it. And I thought, this would be a lot better if my film had dinosaurs in it. So we kind of wove that into the story. And I think it's all the better for it.
I got to say that my absolute favorite shot in the film is what I call this selfie glare that she gives her mother right when she tries to get that final message in. It's an amazing look that she's got.
Yeah, I think when I described it to her, I said, just imagine that your parent won't leave the phone alone and she could get it straight away because I am always in that situation. So it was very natural for her.
The director of photography, Ross Wilson, I thought that there was a lot of really imaginative camera angles and things on this film. How did you meet Ross Wilson and how did he get involved with the project?
I've worked with Ross Wilson for a few years now, probably about 10 years on various short films. Yeah, we're both big fans of Jurassic Park. And the thing that we wanted to do with this film was try to replicate some of the shots from Jurassic Park. So things like following the legs through the bushes and things like that. And, the water ripples on the glass and things like that. So it was very important for us that it looked and felt a lot like it was from that kind of early 90s kind of era of film. We worked together really hard to do that on kind of no budget at all, really, just using practical lights and reflectors and things like that. And just anything we could find to try and make it look like Jurassic Park. Plus, we're in the southwest of England, which isn't exactly Costa Rica either. So there was a lot of walking around trying to find locations, lots of ferns and things like that that could pass for kind of tropical rainforest. That was definitely a big challenge for us. Ross did an absolutely outstanding job. He nailed it. And people who've watched the film have said that it does look very similar to that kind of era of film.
And even sometimes he shoots Amber from lower, so you're looking up at her, which is always a wonderful, imaginative look.
Yeah, we try to keep the camera down at child level or lower so that everything seems bigger and everything seems kind of more magical and perhaps the parents are more dominating. So the mums, you're always kind of looking up at the mum, which is what you would get from a child's perspective. So yeah, we kept the camera low on purpose.
The mystique of the sound that you have in the film is important, I think. Can you talk about how the sound all came together?
The majority of the film was done in post-production, audio-wise. We recorded voices and things on location, but everything else from kind of Foley and things were all done afterwards. Again, this goes back to the location. We're in small woodland in Bristol, just southwest England, and to get kind of rainforest sounds, and it was quite heavy post-production. We had a really good sound designer, Jake Healy. We spent a really long time doing it, and there was a few scenes, particularly the bit where she's walking through the forest, that I'd scripted that there was going to be some music and stuff over that. And when he sent through the initial draft of the audio, I was kind of blown away by what he'd achieved. It kind of took me back to that era of film, and I was like, we don't actually need any music on that bit anymore. It did the job, the sound. So that was a huge compliment to Jake. But yeah, thanks for pointing it out, because yeah, it was a big deal.
How did Amber feel about, I'm sorry, that's not her real name, is it?
Olivia,
the character Amber. Was this her first acting gig?
Yeah, she's never done anything like this before. And it was quite a big gamble for us, to be honest, because she's my daughter and I knew she was capable of doing it. She's a very dramatic person, to be honest. But it was a case of we had, there was probably seven or eight people that had come and committed a whole weekend to do it. You know what it's like when you're doing stuff, for free. People are doing favors and things like that. And at the back of my mind, I was thinking she might just freeze up and not want to do it and say, no, I don't want to do this. She was only 7 at the time, and she didn't. She was absolutely brilliant. She like really nailed every scene. And, as soon as we cut, she was dancing and running around and, pranking everybody and being silly. And then as soon as I said action, she was kind of back in it. So that was great. And she really enjoyed it as well. She enjoyed not just being an actress, but also, what's that camera? What's that? Why is that there? And asking me about stuff, which is, it's quite nice to see that my hobby is rubbing off on her.
Was it more or less ambitious? Was it harder, easier than some of the other projects you did?
It was a bit harder, mainly because of the CGI Stegosaurus that I had no idea. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just we went out and we just filmed it. I thought I'll figure that out in post production. I was just sitting there for days, just looking at this screen of this film, thinking I have to put a dinosaur in there somehow, and I should have perhaps researched how I would do this before deciding to make a film with a dinosaur in it.
So that was a bit of a challenge. I anticipate you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, I did it myself. I animated it myself and put it in the scene myself. And yeah, it was just lots of late nights like this, just sitting thinking, oh my God, can I do it? Is it going to have to be a dog or something instead of a dinosaur? There's a lot of stress came out of it actually when I started announcing about the film on Twitter and things. I had quite a lot of paleontologists and things getting into the show. Will the dinosaur have a beak? Will it have large scales? And I was thinking, oh, God, I've not thought about this at all. So when it went live and everybody was watching it and they had lots of questions about the specific type of Stegosaurus it was, and I was like, I don't know, it's just a Stegosaurus. Perhaps I should have thought about it a little bit more, perhaps, but I just tried to make it look like the ones out of Jurassic Park. That's probably the safest answer I can give.
So the actress who played the mother, she was an actress you've worked with before?
I'd not worked with her before. So my co-producer, Rob Ailing, he'd worked with her on another project, I think. He recommended her for this. And the way that I cast it was I just let them speak to my daughter a little bit. Gemma was brilliant because she built up this kind of friendship with Olivia before. She was sending messages, and I'm looking forward to working with you and things like that, which for me felt really important because my daughter's not an actress. She's never done this sort of thing before. And I'm going to put her in lots of scenes with, another adult. They built a really good friendship, which I think just really helped the film. And you kind of do feel that mother-daughter thing in the film, which considering they were only together, they've only actually been physically together for less than a day. I think it worked really, really well.
Has Olivia been able to attend any of the screenings?
We saw one down here in the Southwest. She saw it in IMAX. They had it in an IMAX screening.
Oh my gosh. You have an IMAX version?
Well, no, I didn't. They could have told me about it before. Yeah, they screened it at an IMAX cinema, which is, it's like bigger than our house. And I was looking at all the mistakes and things I wish I'd done. And she was just wowed by the fact that, her head's the size of a house.
That was her reaction. Oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah, she loved it.
Since you're so good at camera work and suspense, I was wondering, would you be considering doing a horror project next? Because you're pretty good at doing it.
My next film that I'm doing is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek horror film. So, yeah, it's going to be stupid. There's lots of blood and violence and swearing, and there won't be any children in it for sure.
The campier, the better.
It's about a killer badger.
Looking forward to that one. The second thing I was going to ask, since you were clearly inspired by Jurassic Park, which is your favorite movie? Because there have been a couple now.
Definitely the first one. Disregard anything that's Jurassic World, unfortunately. Not in a bad way, but it's just, I nearly cried watching Jurassic World. Not for the right reason. No offense to anybody who likes it.
But I have a special guest, and I'm super stoked to meet her in person. Olivia Wilkinson. The audience loved you in Stegosaurus.
I'm assuming that this was your debut performance, your first film. Was this your first film?
Yeah.
What was the scariest thing about doing the film, or what was the most difficult thing about doing the film?
There wasn't that much difficult things. I guess it was like a fun thing. There was lots of people, so it took a while for me to get used to seeing them.
Was it difficult to learn all those lines that you had in the film?
Yeah, I practiced 3 or 4 times a week.
The story, of course, which is these darn adults got to stop using their darn phones all the time, right? Is this a story that resonates for you?
Yeah. In the film, my mum was always on the phone, but in real life, my mum sometimes on the phone. So it kind of relates to real life.
Have your friends got to see the film?
Yeah.
What did they think about it?
They thought the same with their parents.
Are they envious of your stardom, of your being in the film and being an actress?
I guess they were kind of happy for me to be in a short kind of film.
Would any of them say, oh, I would never do that? Or did some of them say, oh, I really want to do that?
Some of them said that will be really fun to do. And some of them said I would probably be scared to go in front of a camera.
Would you want to do it again someday?
Yeah.
Do you have ideas for films or plays that you would like to be in?
I did audition for some plays. And if I want to be in a film or something, I can ask my dad if he can take his camera out and go around the marina so we can film something.
Do you have any interest in putting the film together or editing them or anything like that?
I quite like helping my dad filming sometimes. Whenever he would film something, he would ask me if I wanted to come. And I would say, yeah.
Who are some of your favorite actors or actresses?
There's lots of actresses and actors that I like.
And what's your favorite movie that you've seen recently?
You liked Independence Day. Independence Day was good, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Rob Ayling a lot earlier in your interview. Rob Ayling was here 2 years ago, and he was at GeekFestToronto with a film called Living in Crime Alley. And you did some work on that film, and now he's doing work on your film. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you two fellas know each other and what it's like to work on each other's films?
Believe it or not, we met on a film. We're doing a feature film in Bristol, the city where we live, and no budget or anything, just lots of different stories, lots of different directors, lots of different writers, everybody working together on a film. And he was on a storyboard artist or something like that, and he storyboarded one of my films. Yeah, we just kept in touch since, and I helped him out with Batman. I edited the film for Crime Alley. And I did the visual effects and color grading and stuff like that. And I shot a little bit of it as well. I'd never really thought about doing a fan film, but after seeing how much fun he had doing his Batman film and the amount of festivals out there that do accept these kind of fan films and things, it motivated me quite a lot to just kind of jump in. And yeah, he was on board. And I think it's safe to say probably the film wouldn't have been made without Rob pushing me at every step. It's quite tricky balancing work and family life and stuff like that. So when you've got somebody like Rob who's kicking you in the bum every 10 minutes, it's a good way to get a film made.
What have you learned about yourself and possibly your family through the making of Stegosaurus?
Apart from learning that I use my phone too much and that my children don't like it. Yeah, I think if you've got an idea or something like that and there's something that you want to do, and if you've got the right people there to help you out, you should just go for it and don't worry too much about what the end result will be, because however it turns out, you'll learn a lot throughout the process. And I think however the film turned out, whether it's good or bad, or whether people like it or don't, I and everybody that's involved, including my daughter who was on before, all had a fantastic time making it. And that's why we were doing it at the end of the day.